I think it's important that we all understand and that we all realize that we've already won. Just by the fact that we're alive right now, just by the fact that we have the opportunity to want anything, the opportunity to desire, the opportunity to explore, the opportunity to live, the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to flow, we've already won. Because as children of God, we already have everything we could ever want, anything that we could ever desire, even if it is things of this physical world. Because this world is meant for us to enjoy. The world is meant for us to have peace with, is to have joy with, to be happy about. So just by the simple fact that we're alive, the simple fact that we're here right now, means that we've already won. There's a Bible verse, I forgot which one it was exactly, but there was one that said that if God is willing to give his only begotten Son to us, what will he not give us? He's willing to give us anything that we ask for, anything that we ask for in prayer, and anything that we truly believe is already ours. So it's about recognizing that anything that we could ever want, if we just come to him and we ask, then it will be given to us. But that giving could mean a bunch of different things. So I think it's important that we recognize exactly what that promise means. Having something isn't necessarily about holding it physically or owning it in a physical sense. It's about being aligned with it emotionally and mentally. Because if you feel like you have a car and you think like you have a car, what difference does it make if you actually have the car or not? There is no difference, because at the end of the day, the world is neutral. Everything in the world only has importance, at least in a physical sense, because we give it importance. We give it emotional importance. So when I say that we've already won, I mean in the sense that anything that we could want in the physical sense and in the emotional sense is something that we could give to ourselves at any point in time. You can control the way that you think. You can control the way that you feel. So why don't you just align yourself with having everything that you want emotionally and mentally? Because you can. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. And the way that I found that really helps me do that is just imagining. Imagining everything I ever wanted was mine right now. The life that I wanted to live, being the person that I wanted to be, the way that people look at me, the way that people treat me, who I talk to, the things that I eat, the day that I live. I imagine myself living that life. I imagine myself living that lifestyle, having those things. And deeper than imagining, it's about feeling the gratitude for everything that I have, feeling the excitement for every day, the presence that I have at every given moment, and the stress-free nature of my life, the stress-free nature of my circumstances. Because I know that everything I have is already mine. And if we allow ourselves to almost adopt that mindset, adopt those emotions before we have it physically, then we're aligning ourselves with those emotions, even on a subconscious level. Speaking in a worldly sense for a moment, it's just the fact that emotion is the language of the subconscious mind. So by feeling those emotions, by almost allowing those emotions to permeate your brain, then you're almost reprogramming your subconscious mind so that you're aligned with the things that you truly want to have. And I forgot what part it was called, but there's a part of the brain that when you notice something, then it begins to focus on it more. Which is part of the reason why, if you were talking to your friend about, like a car, for example, I always use these examples, like a car, then whenever you're on the road, you start to see this one specific car more and more and more. You begin to focus on it more, and that's because you're then become emotionally aligned with that in your subconscious mind. And the majority of the actions that we take in our day-to-day lives are not determined by conscious action, but rather subconscious action. So then truly changing your life, truly changing the way that you flow, which I think is the most important thing that we do, to flow rather than force. It's about changing the way that you feel. It's about allowing yourself and aligning yourself with the feelings of having everything that you want. And in doing so, you're almost changing what your baseline is. You're changing what your normal is, the way that you normally act. So that even if your conscious brain was turned off, you'd end up just living the life of your best self, your ideal self. So, going back to the topic of the video, to say that you've already won is to say that you already have everything that you could ever want. Because we think that we want things physically, but we don't actually care about them physically. Because at the end of the day, the car is just a piece of metal. The money's just a piece of paper. The house is just a piece of wood or a piece of brick. None of those things have any emotional significance, any significance to our lives. It's the meaning that we give to it that gives it that significance. So then the feeling of having that car, the feeling of having that house, the feeling of love that you want, something that you could give to yourself right now. And if you allow yourself to feel those emotions, if you imagine it, and you feel those, and you feel it intensely, you allow yourself to feel it intensely, then you align yourself naturally with that path. You align yourself naturally with having it. And then when we pray to God about these things, asking for these things, then we already believe that we have it because we're already feeling the gratitude of having these things. So then if it's within our will, or if it's within His will for us to have, then it's something that we're going to have. And then if it's not in His will for us to have, then who cares? Because you've already given it to yourself emotionally. So then you don't care about having it physically. Because we can't control anything outside of ourselves. We can only control our thoughts and our emotions. It's not up to us to control the outside world. It's up to God. So then it's almost about coming to terms with that and allowing yourself to feel what you want to feel. Oftentimes what we think is directly connected to the physical world, when in reality it's actually just something that we could substantiate for ourselves right now. All that to say, we've already won. Anything that I could ever ask for, anything I could ever want, anything I could ever need, is something that I could give to myself right now. And there's a peace that comes with that. There's a joy and a gratitude that comes with that. Because there's nothing to stress for, there's nothing to ask for, there's nothing that we want. I think so often people are almost addicted to suffering. People are addicted to needing rather than having, wanting rather than having. But it's about recognizing that everything that you ever wanted, anything that you could ever desire, is something that you have right now. Something that you can have right now. It's just making the choice to substantiate that for yourself. The Bible verse I have for this video is taken from Mark 11, verse 24. And it says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have it, received it, and it shall be yours." We've already won. We already have everything that we could ever need. Everything that we could ever want. It's just about recognizing it. Thank you for watching.